Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the day you may be experiencing, whatever part of the world you may be in. This is Dr. Don with your daily LightPoint. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm going to be exploring this concept of leadership identity. Leadership identity. And I thought it would be appropriate to first just give some context to what I mean when I say leadership identity. What does that really mean? When I speak to leadership identity, I mean it really in two facets. One facet being how you see yourself as a leader, how you see yourself as a leader, and the other as a leader, and the other facet is how you want others to see you as a leader. And I want to unpack that this week because oftentimes we set on this journey of having the greatest impact in the lives of others when we profess ourselves to be a leader. At least some of us. Some of us look at it solely through the context of role and responsibility or title, but I want to dig deeper in terms of what that really means. The psychological implications of what it means, the practical implications of what it means. But it starts with identity. How do we see ourselves and how do we want others to see us? Understanding that our personal identity as it relates to what it means to be a leader is solely that. It's through a personal lens. It doesn't necessarily presume anyone actually sees us that way. So how do we practice or take the necessary steps to ensure that this identity can then be realized, which then defines a reputation? So dispelling this confusion between identity and reputation. I want to start off with just some sharing of what's required from an identity standpoint. Means that we have a vision for what we believe it means to show up as leaders in our lives, personally and professionally. It means that we now have a vision for the impact we intend to have as a leader in the lives of others and in our own lives. So it starts with this vision for what it actually means when we call ourselves a leader. Do you truly believe that to be true? Do you recognize the power that you have and the influence, more specifically, that you have in the lives of others, in our own life? It starts with the mindset attributed to what it means to be a leader. For me, my identity rests in my ability to have a positive impact in the lives of others and how I show up, how I engage, how I interact, how I make decisions as I move about my life. From the waitress I encounter at a restaurant to the client who's paying me to help transform how they lead their business, I have a power to influence the trajectory of someone's moment, someone's day, someone's lifetime. I believe that to be holistically true. I believe that I have gifts that I possess that can be leveraged in order for me to show up positively and have a positive impact in someone's life. That's the identity that shapes how I engage, how I interact, how I make decisions. I want to be seen as someone who can move a room, who has a capacity to positively impact how someone sees themselves, how they see their team, how they see their organization, and more specifically, how they lead oneself, team, and organization. I want to be seen as someone who has had a positive impact, even if it's just on one person's life, and there's a ripple effect as a result of that. That's how I want to be seen, as someone who has the power of influence and impact in such a way. So I challenge you to, as we unpack this concept of leadership identity this week, ask yourself, what is my identity? How do I see myself as a leader? And how do I want to be seen? I want you to answer that question for yourself and tune in this week to the LightPoint podcast. Real leaders, real talk, real time.